Alright folks, welcome to round number 1 of this modern preliminary. We are met with a very slow hand. Very slow hand. Pretty robust though. I think I'm gonna keep it. I didn't play around Luca. No, I did not play around Luca. My bad. My bad for not playing around Luca. Riftbolt. Well, I guess Vestige is better. Now the question here is, do I want to... No, I definitely want a Grazer. Like, my opponent did not show me... Did not have a Gobbo on 1, right? But that doesn't really mean anything. To be fair, Bridge would have been good there. My opponent's playing Pillage, so... And again, I'm not making decisions. I'm not making decisions in deck building based on the Obosh, Luca, Gruul, Blood Moon mid-range matchup. You know what I'm saying? So we have a Titan next turn, which is pretty good. I like having a Titan next turn. Yeah, I know, Kodakako. It's kind of sad how we have one of those weird scenarios where so my opponent's holding up Skullcrack, which is pretty bad news for us, but it kind of is what it is. Like, I just have to play into it, force my opponent to use it. And I mean, we're still tapping with a Titan, right? So it's not the end of the world. There's the Skullcrack. And next turn we get to like pay our upkeep, a Pact for Dryad, play Dryad, and how much damage do we get to do? We get to do 6. I think we have lethal. Having Bar, thank you for the follow. So, Pact for Dryad. Skullcrack face. Down to 16. So I think we have lethal here. Pew pew you. Gruul over look at mid-range descent at the full forefront of our deck building decisions they were. Explosives. There's been such a big uptick in burn. It's kind of surprising, I guess. I wonder what happened. Like, what made everybody think, oh yeah, burn's great now. Burn being easy is a misconception, I think. Turn 4 Titan on the draw. Opponent kept 7. Small again. Much better. Wow. And that, folks, is why you mulligan. For the semi-serious double Q player. Now that's more accurate. Like, if you want a double Q, burn is actually a pretty good choice, I guess. Gonna name Beast here. Now we're gonna deploy the Beast. How is a Beast just like a silly 0-3? Like, it's not even threatening. Yeah, this hand was just amazing. I will block. Oh, okay. We're gonna name Antelope. It's important to name Antelope there because we're bluffing, you know? Now we play the game of how much life does Gracer gain. For real though, like, the amount of life gained is kind of absurd here. What are you gonna do? You're gonna bolt my Gracer? Are you gonna path my Dryad? Like, what are you gonna do now? Just playing Blue-Green Big Butts. That's the name of her deck. Blue-Green Big Butts. Blue-Green Big Butts. Make counter Titan uncounterable. Very important. To not get mana type. So opponent has four cards in hand. So if those 4 cards in hand are Boros Charm Bolt plus Boros Charm and another 3 mana, another 3 damage spell, we're fucked. I think I'm doing Valak with T-West. Helix Face. Well, that's good for me, because that means that I can't die now, right? And I'm well set up in case my opponent has Path to Exile. They can bolt my Dryad if they want. They don't. Gracer just made Goblin Guide chump block. How exciting is that? This deck is if Seer makes a lot, played MTG. I have no idea what that means. What I know is that we just very quickly are 1-0 in our prelim. See you for the next round. Welcome back for round number 2, folks. And we are greeted with a... I'm going to call it an okay hand. Some folks out there call this the turn 2. We're also double queuing here in a very interesting match, where I think that we're dead, but we're fairly ahead on time, so we're gonna be double queuing here, which hopefully is not too miserable. But funny that my opponent literally is not gonna be able to get back Uro because they only have 2 cards left in their deck. Everything else was exile. They have 40 cards on exile. Dredge. Dr. Edge. This hand was good against every deck, but it's particularly good against I don't have any interaction, so I hope that whatever it is that I'm doing is good enough. Dot deck, which is basically Dredge. I think that we're in a very good spot. No reunion there is obviously great. Woof! Well, Karn's gone, which sucks. But I guess we're gonna be just fine. Let's do that first. That's 6 mana. That's a Primeval Titan. That's a concession. Nexus, you got it. My opponent's just executing their combo over here. Their 1-card combo. Okay, Cyberling against Dredge. Bog. Sage. Force. Explore, explore, cover. Go. Am I dead yet, opponent? I love how they have literal lethal on board, but they are casting the Nexus just in case. I mean, I appreciate it, right? That is basically the same as attacking with your Gracer on turn 2 against control, right? Like, it's basically the same thing. It's attacking with Gracer against the control deck, or, you know, just casting Nexus whenever you have actual lethal on board. But it's not so good when you have, like, 4 minutes left on your clock. That is what makes the play a little bit less funny and more not great. Played Amulet for the first time last week and got a Gracer kill. Nice. Need Will Goji. That's awesome. Okay, back on our Dredge match. This is against Dredge. It's a turn 3 Karn. This is against BUG Reclamation. Sure. So let's keep this against Dredge. We're gonna turn 1 Shock, which is kind of weird, but the idea is I want to turn 1 Shock because even though I'm gonna play Amulet on 1, because the potential is higher, right? If I draw a Dryad or I draw an Azusa, we can cast it. But the idea being I can start the turn by steerings first, and then if I do find the BUG and my opponent has like a substantial graveyard, we can exile it. And this is against the other deck. So let's play this and say go. Not a great draw. Not a great draw. Every Dredge deck right now is just packing some number of Blood Moons, so you just have to be ready for that. Now, my opponent showed me Ashiok, so I'm trying to play around it a little bit. I think I'm slamming this Dryad here. If they gust, I'm gonna put the Dryad on top. And this means I can Titan next turn. Okay, steering's number a million, probably not great. And the fact that they shenanigans my thingy also doesn't excite me. I'm gonna get the basic forest here. Allows me to steerings again, and it also means that, you know, if my opponent moons me, we don't get super destroyed. So I guess I would love to draw like a Dryad or something. Things are not looking good in this matchup anymore. Shenanigans was kind of a big game there. Wilderness Wreck. Unfortunate that we drew a bunch of basics here. It's okay. Pass the turn. Too bad that my Dryad died. I was hoping that I could transmute for Cavern there. Oh, this is still going on here. They have Ashiok. It's bad for us. Foff. Alright. Here's a stupid 6/6. See if that's good enough. Let's go, Maw. Let's go, Maw. What is my opponent doing over here? They're really struggling to figure out what to do this turn. I'm just gonna dome me for 3. Seems like what they've chosen. Mail themselves. No Ashiok. But yes, Udo. Well, that's an incredible draw. That is an absolutely incredible draw. we don't get to steer into the BUG here, so I guess I'm gonna do this just so I have the most mana for next turn. Did they Nexus here? They did. Hardcast Stinky. Let's fucking go. Steering's first. Field of the Dead. 1, 2, 3. Zombo. Carno. Crypto. Concessions, though. Alright, sweet. 2-0 in the prelim. Let's see if we can keep this, the magic going. See you for round number 3. Alright, folks, welcome to round number 3 of this prelim that we're playing today. This hand's kind of sus, if you ask me. It only needs 1 bounce land to be great. I'm just gonna ship it. This seems better. Not by a lot, but certainly better. Have you ever seen the drinking a glass of water tutorial? Every time I see something like that, or I hear something like it, always reminds me of the Family Guy sketch, which is one of my favorites, because that's like exactly my kind of humor, and I love it. And it's like the Family Guy sketch where Peter says, "This is just like the time that I forgot how to sit," and then he just like stares at a couch and just like throws himself into the couch. I don't know why, but I find that extremely, extremely amusing. It's just so funny. It's just so funny. All right, now you're modded. So how are we gonna sequence this hand? I think I'm gonna go turn 1 tap land, turn 2 explore. It gives me the most information before I ancient steerings. And I think I'm gonna just bottom a second steerings here. Yeah, I'll play T-West. I play the Valkyrie. So we're probably playing against some like Omnath pile of bullshit. Because everybody plays Omnath piles of bullshit in this tournaments. Can we find land? These and much more in this week's episode. Don't have a Ran. Fuck, they have a Ran. They have a Ran, chat. Stupid Ran. God fucking damn it. Well, I'll take the worst land in my deck, I guess. Oh, this feels so bad, man. I'm also like further away now from Dryad, but I have to be able to Karn minus for Needle, clear the Ren. This is just very bad. I don't like my spot. Don't like my spot. Too slow out of the gates. Too slow out of the gates. Definitely good for me that I mulliganed that first hand, though, I'll tell you that much. That first hand would have been a train wreck if I didn't find a bounce line in like 1 or maybe 2 draw steps. Plains. The place is kind of weird. I mean, they have a Scalding Tarn in hand. 4 mana, Omnath, okay. Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes sense. That's a Scalding Tarn, that's a fetch land. So I guess this Omnath can kill this Karn right here. Just pretty fucked up. It's not looking good. T's not looking good. So this is the Time Warp version, which is significantly worse news for us. Like, 4-color Omnath is a bad matchup for us. The Time Warp version is very close to unwinnable. Like, this is really, really bad for us. I am super sad to see that my opponent just cast a Time Warp right there. I think our win percentage went from medium to, I don't know, like 3% or something. Just throwing numbers, obviously, but I don't think we have very high chances of winning this game. Brutal. Definitely it's bad for us, the fact that this is the version of the deck that has been becoming more and more popular. Yeah, they do have less interaction, but they have a loop that we can't beat. The good thing is that I think they rely on Ren a little bit more. They play the full 4 copies of Ren, and Ren is like part of their engine / combo kill or whatever. But like my opponent's gonna just like take a million turns here, right? So like we're just super fucked. It's basically like a turn stack. Matt with the tier 1 sub, welcome back for the 11th month. Thank you so much for the continued support, Matt. I think that this is enough for me. I'm ready to pack it in here. Like, we could continue playing that game, but we're just not winning. We're not winning that one. So yeah, I think this is fine. I could see cutting like a Misty Rainforest for another Gracer, just so we can, you know, keep up with them in terms of speed. Because like once we get to the mid game, they win. Like that's just the way it works. Like we can't we don't really have that many tools to slow down their engine. They probably only play 1 Cryptic. I don't think GQ is necessary. Yes, but like they still play Time Warp, right? Like Mystic Sanctuary is still important. Now we could cut it, and I would play like what, a Misty. I don't know. It seems worth to have the one copy. It seems better than the castle, for example, is what I mean. Hitting Sanctuary with GQ is just worse if they're using Sanctuary to get warp back. I mean, yes and no, right? Are we able anything in the new set for Amulet? No, we're gonna be talking about that tomorrow, but I don't think there's any good cards for us in the set. We're probably gonna go over the cards that everybody is like kind of hyped about, because everybody's always hyped about something, particularly when you go to like the Facebook group where it's mostly casual players. The competitive players like understand a little bit more, but like people are excited about like the land that gets a Titan after it's dead. It's just like blue black black is yeah. Blue black black is not gonna happen. Or they're excited about like the Simic land that copies something that you already have in plan. It's just like no, that's just not how it works. Okay, keep this. Yeah, no, there's nothing good. Any good cards in the set for a Pioneer meme decks? I didn't do a Pioneer meme deck Scryfall Search, but I just noticed that my opponent said thank you for a scoop, and it's just like, yeah, I value my time. The most interesting card is the green blue pathway. Is the green blue pathway better than Breeding Pool? I don't think so. That's my issue. Like, there's nothing that is just better than what we already have access to, so. Reclaimerless Reclaimers ready for some upgrades. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about Reclaimerless Reclaimer. Well, the copy lion doesn't do anything because all of our good stuff is just legendary, so that doesn't achieve anything. It's blue pie with the roundy 2-mana cage and the sweet chariot of those. Yeah, I think that all of those cards are just bad, she said. I just honestly don't see the point of, like, of course, like trying them is always great. Like testing is like, that's the point of testing, right? Like figuring out what works and what doesn't, etc. But I just don't think that none of those cards add anything new to the table. This would have been a great draw last turn. None of those cards add anything new to the table, which is what saddens me. They can ward while anything else won't. I mean, yes and no. I know you think he was triggered once you play, but I think you severely overestimate Red player's card's evaluation. No, I didn't say that I that he won't see play. I said that it wouldn't be good. It will see play, just the same way that, I don't know, Leyline of Anticipation sees play. The other day we played about the Mono Blue Devotion deck. It's just like, yep, all of those are legal cards. The GG enchantment is pretty cool. Yeah, but I think that enchantment is very, very overhyped in my opinion. My opponent is really struggling with this Explorer. Devol's Trickery is the new Electro Dominance. Growth Spiral. Okay. I think I want an Amulet here. Trigger use force into the burst is terrible by using it to cheat and cast a minion in their hand. Yeah, I think it's still terrible. I mean, you have to think about the fact that it's a deck that literally cannot play cards, right? If your opponent has Aether Gust, Force of Negation, Mana Leak, anything, like anything whatsoever, your deck just scoops. Because you cannot play sideboard cards. Remand. Everything is just terrible. Ashiok? Oh, that's fine. Like you cannot beat anything at all. It's just brutal. Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm saying, Stabs. Like people will still play it, and they will feel very smart whenever it works out for them. But that doesn't mean that it's good. Doesn't mean that it's a good strategies. Doesn't mean that they're gonna win too much with it. But I mean, it's cool. Like it's something that people will get to do. It's perfectly fine. In fact, like we're gonna be losing to that deck a lot because like we in particular, as Amulet players, we are gonna struggle with that a lot. But it is what it is. I think it won't be as good as Polymorph Nonsense, but the process of having to play around counter magic against Blood Moon decks does not excite me at all. I mean, it's yeah, I don't know. Interaction, I hardly ever know her. Wow. Well, if we get to untap, maybe we're in okay shape. This deck does not play Field of the Dead though, so at least we got that going for us. There's Omnath. Now what? There's the fetch land. Okay. We taking another turn? Probably if you play like Goblins Common will fizzle after the hype. Yeah, the difference is I think that Goblins actually has... I do think that the Goblins deck is good. That's the difference. I don't think that this deck is ever gonna be good. I feel like the Goblins deck is super close to being very good. And I think that with tuning and like if somebody would pick it up, a couple of people tried it, and I guess that maybe the prominence of prowess was a little bit too much for the deck. So all it takes is like a switch in the metagame or something, and then maybe the deck can go back to being good. But which deck will never be good? The Tiba Trickery deck. Okay, so this... Oh, Miss Landrop, you say? F's in chat. Yeah, we have to draw Valakut. If we top deck Valakut, we're in good shape. I mean, we just win the game, basically. Natty Valakut. No Natty Valakut. 2. Boom, 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 boom. So we have two options here. We play the prime time, or we play the second Dryad. I think we are in pretty bad shape, however. So I think the play is to attack first, see what my opponent does here. If they block with Omnath, I'm just gonna trade straight up. I guess I should have played the Dryad first. Yeah, but my idea is if they don't block, we just don't activate Sunhome and play the Titan instead. Although I guess that I'd rather just double strike and play Dryad. Okay. Well, this at least this gets rid of the Omnath. That Ashok was very good for them, though. No joke. We're also casually 10 minutes ahead on clock. Bounce the bug and they were out of there. We couldn't, right? It's important for us to get the Sun home in play. And if I do that, then we can't do both. So Aura is just something we're gonna have to figure out how to deal with. Also, they still get to, like, if they don't block, right? They still have to, they still have the Ashok to minus. Or decide Ashok to be one side instead of hitting everyone should be shot. I mean, all of this, we're so close to being fine. That, I think that's the most annoying thing, right? Like, all of the 3-mana walkers, they were so close to being fine. And then they made all of them one-sided. Narset, Teferi, Ashiok. I don't know, man. I don't know why you would want that. Seems so stupid. Seems so fucking stupid to me. Yeah, same with Karn, exactly. Like, all of those were so close to being just fine. And instead, they were one-sided and they were fucked up. It's so stupid. 2, 3, 4. Speak of the devil. 2, 3. Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're missing too much mana. Yeah, Karn. I guess Karn would be a little bit weird if we were only one-sided. That's true. 2. Three, 4, 1, 2, 3. We're 1 mana short. Brutal. So we're just gonna get fucked by this Uro. God damn it, man. I mean, we're getting fucked by this Ashiok, honestly. Uro is just kind of late to the party, but this is the card that won my opponent the game. Force of negation. So we can trade one of their lands for one of ours. This prevents my opponent from using Mystic Sanctuary next turn. So this might seem like a weird play, but if I do this, if my opponent shuffles, they don't have Mystic Sanctuary, or they have to shuffle the Time Warp. And they don't have, like, they will need to find another Mystic Sanctuary next turn. But this is like a guaranteed 3 turns for my opponent as this stands. So this would potentially deny them one of those. So I'm forcing my opponent to find it, basically. So this might seem like a weird play, but I think that is the correct play. And I'm only doing this because we're super far behind right here, obviously, right? Like, this Ashiok completely destroyed us. This is the worst, though. Like, being 14 minutes ahead of your opponent on clock and, like, still losing is just, like... It's kind of infuriating. So now opponent has a Personal Howling Mine that's attached to a 6/6. If we are going to win here, we need my opponent to whiff for both of these turns, and we need to draw exactly Valakut. Never mind. I think we have 0 outs at this point. Okay, that's it. All right, so as I was saying, like, this matchup is basically unwinnable, right? Like, the Omnath deck was already okay, and the Omnath deck was like a little bit closer, but like now that they have like Time Warps and shit, it's impossible to stop their engine. Like, it's just impossible for us. Like, there's nothing that we can realistically do. We basically just need like a Nutso draw, and that's it. But that's it. We're gonna be back for round number 4. Hopefully we get to cash this one. See you later. All right, folks, here we are for round number 4 of today's prelim, looking to secure... Yeah, let's keep this. Looking to secure the 3-1 so we can get our monies back. How are we going to sequence our lands? Overgrown Tomb. That's bad. So I think I'm going to play Field of the Dead and say go. I think I'm just gonna develop my mana here. Hoping to not get Thoughtseize / Inquisition here. This could be like black green. They didn't reveal lures, so I guess not. Oh no, they don't have lures. That's true. They're playing 22 lands. So we're gonna play Forest here, Polluted Delta. Okay, so this is just Bug. I want to kind of try to set up this Field of Death, so I don't want to play Bounce Land just yet. Okay, second Karn. It's not great, but it could be worse. Why can't it just be John? Because people play good decks. Sometimes. Okay. Not looking very good now. Sometimes I just want to buy. Yeah, buys are good, I guess. My opponent only has one blue source, by the way. Even though you could never tell because they have all the worst possible arts, but... So I guess I'm going to Karn for Crypt. We get owned by Force. Opponent doesn't have double blue, so they can't Uro. So I guess I'm just gonna develop mana here. Yeah. Okay, it's not enough to Uro just yet, which is good. Watery Grave. Push. Narset. Can we find a Titan off the top? One time? Ask and ye shall receive, I guess. So once again, getting kind of owned by not playing Bujigapo in the main deck. So this gives me double blue to transmute. My opponent needs to deal with my Titan. We have the zombie apocalypse coming up. We have 4 mana to Karn. We're putting my opponent into significant pressure. Blood Chief's Thirst. So they can kill Titan now. But if they do, they can't Udo. They're tapped out of Cryptic. Narset is kind of an interesting card. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are playing into Mana Leak. It kind of feels like we have to though. Because next turn my opponent just says Cryptic. I guess they can't cast a Cryptic. I mean, the bug is a huge mistake. The number of nutty bugs we can goes down by way too much, and nutty bug is life. Oh, that's true. Stupid nutty bug. Why is my opponent tanking here? So that means we're going to be facing a Nora, folks. But that taps my opponent out. So they're going to have to find a force. Nice mana base. Nice Mystic Sanctuary mana base, opponent. Good job. I think I still cast Aura though, which is obviously a problem because that card's fucked up. Then we have to take this chance to try to resolve a Titan here. So we can out-zombie them. We can haste here. Which seems kind of good to me. opponent can trade Uro for this, for the Titan, which seems like a good, yeah, this seems like a good trade for me. Because the zombies are already putting a ton of pressure. I don't think that was a good play for them. Like, we know they have a Cryptic, right? So it seems like Uro surviving and my opponent in like Cryptic looping and just getting out of reach that way seems like the way that they win. But now they don't have a way to accrue card advantage, so seems like a little bit of a misstep from their side. Because like we're already in. I'm gonna play the Amulet first, see if my opponent wants to counter this. That means that they wouldn't draw. But like we are in counter tap territory already. On like a tap draw territory, sorry. So I'm basically using this as bait to basically trade for the top of my opponent's deck. Because they have to tap and draw. They have to tap my team, otherwise they just lose. So basically I wanted to trade the Cryptic for the top card of my opponent's deck. Okay. Tap all creatures, draw a card. Unsurprising. Abrupt Decay my Amulet. That's very good for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my Karn. -2. Yes. And I think I'm gonna crypt here. This means my opponent can't Uro. We are already in a situation where they just need to chain Cryptics, otherwise they just lose to my board. So sure. That's not enough though. No, that is definitely not enough. I think we got this one. Note that we still have a Stronghold Garrison, right? But I'm playing around my opponent having another Cryptic. Attack with everything at them. Snapcaster Mage. They're playing Snappy? That seems so weird. Not seen this guy in a while. Karn for Chalice and 4. Well, this is lethal as is. Yep. Alright, sweet. Weird. My opponent's playing a weird version. with like Narset and Snapcasters. Super strange. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Of course, the story of that game was how my opponents, like my opponents' greed. The greed in their mana base just got the best of them. That was basically the story of that game. Have you tried just killing them turn 2? It's a good strat. Wait, we can do that? I'm new to these deck steps. How can you teach me how to do that? That seems very powerful. Opponent, come on, play. Stop double queuing. Yeah. Think Overgrown Tomb is really bad in this whole decks. It definitely seemed very bad there. I'll tell you that much. It seemed very bad right there. Played a league or two and read almost every game. Made the mana pretty bad with 3 charms. Yeah. Like those decks are just so freaking greedy. Those decks are so freaking greedy, man. It's pretty crazy. I don't know why people do that. Just play a powerful deck with a normal mana base. And just like, you know, cast your spells and win the game by casting your spells. Why do you have to be so greedy? Do some push-ups, surely can double Q as well. I will do some push-ups after this match. Promise. If you remind, let me rephrase that. If you remind me, I will do some push-ups after this match. That is more accurate. All right, doctor. What medicine do you got for me? Potential of a turn 2. Dig it. Turn 2 Karn. Don't mind if I do. Mana leak. Oh no. I mean, it's not great for us, but it's also not the worst. Yeah, I think I'd rather have redundant Karn here. Oh, we have Natty Bog too. That's pretty sick actually. Is my opponent gonna do the very cute steal your amulet? People love to do the steal your amulet play. Archmage's Charm. Best bog is Natty Bog. No questions there. No arguments whatsoever. Sweet. Opponent killed the wrong land. Let's copy the Triumph. Okay, that's cool. That's something my opponent can cryptic. Archmage's Charm, even better. Bingo. Kind of sucks that their Triumph is like the worst art. It's kind of gross, honestly, if you ask me. Putting down to one card in hand. What is that last card? Blood Chief's Thirst. That's what we in the industry call an easy clap. And that's how you 3-1 a prelim. In case you were wondering. You definitely want to make sure that you make your Titan an artifact there, just for value. Very important to make Titan an artifact there. Definitely the correct play. And I won't trust anybody who tells me otherwise. Actually, I think I'm gonna pact right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm gonna pact right now. Obviously to play around Force of Negation. And we drew the Cavern, so we haven't controlled Titan next turn. They could have Force of Vigor. They have 0 cards in hand. All right. 3-1. Always feels good to 3-1 a prelim. Get those QPs, get those PPs, and get a couple of chesties. We played against Dredge, Burn, and Bug, and we lost to the Omnath turns deck. That was cool though. That was cool. We played a lot better matches here than we did in the league, so hope you enjoyed the content. Of course, if you did, make sure you hit that follow button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.